Welcome back. Cleanup efforts are underway in the wake of the deadly tornado that tore through Oklahoma City, destroying an elementary school in Moore, Oklahoma. The tornado claimed the lives of 24 people. Our own meteorologist Mike Joyce was in Norman, Oklahoma. That's just a few miles from the site of the killer tornado. Mike joins me now to talk about what he witnessed. Mike, you had an unbelievable experience.
Right, we did. It was once in a lifetime opportunity basically to see what was going on. In fact, I do have a couple images or a couple newspapers. This is from Norman, Oklahoma. This is basically the headline from the town, and it's been like this all week. It's basically been a nightmare for those folks down there. And we'll also show some video from what we captured, my team of friends and meteorologists here. What we're seeing here is the development of the tornado, and I do apologize for the shakiness of this video. However, what we're seeing here is the cloud starting to drop down right in the middle of the screen, just to the right of the tree in the background. Now that is actually rotating. That cloud is rotating, and we call that a wall cloud. It's basically a cloud that's lower from the rest of the cloud mass. And in the center, you can start to see a little bit of a funnel
It's starting to come down.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it's actually doing so very quickly. Most storms don't develop this fast. This storm, from what I captured here, from when we started seeing that rotating wall cloud to on the ground tornado, which it's just about to do here in just under a minute or so, that process took 2 minutes. Now, after this, we see it just continuing to develop. I mean, we had a very good vantage point here in a field, but surrounded by all this is urban.
Okay.
It is an urban community. The town of Newcastle here is where we're sitting. So this field was just more of a very good opportunity for us to see this storm. Because it's dropping, as you can see in the background, there's some buildings and stuff, and unfortunately it did drop on top of that. Now at this point, it's not very strong. We're talking EF0, EF1 damage. But it will quickly develop into EF3, and by the time we left this field, our estimates are that it would be high-end EF3 to EF4 strength, which is powerful enough to pretty much destroy most wooden homes, anything like that. And unfortunately, that is what happened in Moore as that tornado moved off into the city of Moore.
Mike, I'm just surprised at how wide that the storm was. I mean, that you could see that.
Right. It was estimated at some points to be about 1.5 miles wide when it was at full EF5 strength. Now,
once it hit the ground, where were you guys at? The group of people that you were with?
When it first hit the ground, where we saw in the video, that's where we were.
Okay.
We sat there for another, I would say, 8 to 10 minutes, and then after that was when we saw it very quickly progress into a wedge tornado, which is where I would say about at least half a mile of the ground is covered by this tornado. And that's when you start seeing the debris swirling around it.
Okay.
And that process only took another 2 or 3 minutes. From it to go from that, what almost looks like a beautiful tornado, it turned into a very destructive monster. And here's an image of this. At this point, we're probably talking EF3 damage, and swirling around it is not rain, but that's actually debris.
That's swirling around. So that's not the rain. That's, wow.
Correct, yes. So, and you can see from this picture, this is us in the car. I'm taking this image with my friends here, but you can just see how massive this storm is. And that wall cloud that I talked about earlier, the reason why this storm became EF5 is that whole thing dropped to the ground and just created winds up to about 220 miles per hour is what the Weather Service estimated.
Right. Mike, thanks for sitting down and talking about your experience.
Absolutely.
I know there are so many people in the community that watched the report that you did earlier in the week, so we thank you so much for being here and telling us exactly what you witnessed.
Absolutely. I'm glad to show you all what we saw, and I hate to say I was in the right place at the right time because it was so destructive, but I did witness that history there, and I'm fortunate for that opportunity. But of course, we would like to help out those who were affected by the Moore tornado, and some of my partners and friends that I chased with started a Facebook page called Buckeyes for Moore. This is where we're trying to raise money and maybe planning a trip to return to help the the folks affected by the tornado. So if you'd like to check it out on Facebook, type in Buckeyes for More and like our page where we'll have some information on how you can help out.
All right, Mike. Sounds good. We'll have more Newswatch Midday coming your way. Stay with us.